Hey everyone. So it's been a while since I've done a reading like this, but I felt like we're in a very potent time right now with the being in the middle of the eclipse cycle, with the eclipse coming up soon. And this reading is going to be for someone who's recently gone through a lot of shadow work. Maybe it was, um, maybe you kind of were triggered by something and it led you to kind of think deeply about deep beliefs and maybe some shame or like shame regarding your desires or just like a lot of trauma came to the surface and you needed to figure out what it was about and why it's coming up at this time. And perhaps for a while you tried to soak up as much as you could in that state so that it doesn't happen again. And now you're feeling like you can come back to being your light self. So, one thing I want to say before I start opening the cards is that you should not feel shame for having a shadow and having to sometimes embrace it. But at the same time, we don't have to get stuck in the shadow as well. The whole point is to integrate the shadow and basically you need to like think of a crystal. The crystal goes through immense heat and pressure over long periods of time, right? And then crystallizes. And when it's finally unearthed, it's beautiful. And no one can see the beauty till they find it and crack the rock open. So think of it as that pressure had been building inside you all this time. And yeah, you are wondering why no one is seeing you for what you are, the crystal that you are. But you needed this last push to kind of break through the rock, the exterior of the rock. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let's start the reading and let's see. This is a very I'm not asking it any question. I'm just going off the feeling currently where it's like coming out of that shadow phase. So, okay. Area. Now, this card, it represents basically the strength of your heart and like the courage to follow your true heart's desire, which I think is quite fitting here because in a way we had to go through the shadow and maybe for a time we felt like the shadow is all we have to live in life because it probably came up because you were courageous with your heart and you got hurt. And so maybe you thought that the best thing to do is like just close off from the positive side of yourself completely and just become more realistic and like giving more attention to the shadow desires, which again they're not bad, but it's all about balance, right? So I feel it's like don't be afraid of coming back to where you were before you went into the started doing the shadow work. You know what I'm saying? Okay, then we have Zuriel, Twin Iron, and Zadkiel. Very interesting. So this card represents diplomacy. And look at the way that she's swirling around the planets. It's very graceful, the movements. They're very graceful. And it's like, at the end of the day, yes, the world is a chaotic place from how we look at it at the stage, like at the level we are, because we are just humans on one of these planets spinning around, right? But the entire cosmos functions on grace on the macro scale. So when you zoom out, you get a much better picture of how everything kind of fits together and things that used to bother you might feel insignificant, even though they might be unbearable while you're within them. This card represents truth. It's the alpha and the omega, but it's also polarity, right? Because yes, they're twins, but one's a guy, one's a girl. So it's like the masculine and feminine. So it's like balancing those two out. And as you can see, they're holding hands which have the scales. And this is like the Egyptian scales where they weigh the heart and compare it to a feather, right? So you should read about that if you don't know about it, because it's pretty interesting. And Zadkiel, this card is alchemy. Like, look at him. He's got this crystal which is floating. He's got all this stuff around. So it's like your shadow work is a form of alchemy. So alchemy is about transmuting and transforming something. So that's another reason why it's okay now. You went through the shadow. You shouldn't feel bad about it. But you should recognize that it was meant for transformation. And at the bottom of the deck right now we have Haniel, which is passion. So the shadow work could have been about reigniting your passion, but in order to do that, you had to like break certain preconceived notions you had about things. Even like maybe you are too dogmatic about morality. You know what I'm saying? It's like at the end of the day, yes, there is right and wrong, but sometimes things which are normal and natural, we think it's wrong, and then on the flip side, once you break through the thing of thinking it's wrong, you might think that doing it in excess is right. So that is where the balance comes in. And I just pulled out this card. So this is a much softer version of, it's more than passion, it's like heartwarming connection, or like, it's like the more calm, serene feeling of feeling loved in the world. So we're trying to get to that place, and that would help us get to the abundance which we're looking for. And because a lot of this shadow work arises because we felt lack in some way, maybe lack of safety, lack of finances, lack of whatever, and maybe feeling things were unfair. So we had to mold ourselves to like be a way which we thought would be like more fair to us. But that's the thing, we are always in a process of cleansing. Like you can see how she's cleansing herself. So this card represents like cleansing off all your like the debris from everything in the past which no longer serves you. And this card represents artistry. So maybe like this whole shadow work process, the real reason you did it was so that you could express yourself better. And yeah, like that's what I feel like, it's less about what is like burning inside you, and it's more about like what's holding you back because you didn't let it burn in the first place, like you thought it was wrong. So I'm going to end the reading, but I just pulled out this card, and this card represents joy, Archangel Jophiel. And you can see she's just like looking so happy in this card. And you can see all these blue butterflies flying around. So yeah, I think if you went through some shadow work right now, like don't beat yourself up about it, and also don't feel like you have to stay there. And yeah, if you like this reading, I'm gonna leave my email in the description. And if you want a personal reading, you can message me and tell me what you want a reading about. And yeah, I'll get back to you on that. I've been doing this for a while, but the first time I've actually done it, I'm thinking of doing it properly, like for the public. And So I just pulled out Cherubial. So this card was Illumination. So for me, I had to like basically go through that to like illuminate the parts of myself I'm hiding, the good parts, the bad parts to myself, and then I can illuminate myself to the world, right? So maybe you're also in the same place where this shadow work has kind of uh, led you to basically open yourself up to the world to be discovered in some way. Anyway, I hope this reading helped you. If you like a personal reading, you can contact me. Thank you. I'm just gonna end on this beautiful celestial amethyst, because this is how we are, like, look at that, all these small things coming together, and they make it shine from all these different angles, because each facet of this, they are all one, but they are all separate as well. So it's like a fractal, like you're a fractal. That's what I'm saying. And sometimes you have to visit those dark parts of yourself to truly shine. You know what I'm saying? Because you need to see the whole surface area. Anyway, thank you.